I had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire wrong. So our orders get all backed up. We're drowning in paperwork, then actually drowning. Carol is fighting off sharks with a stapler, and pirates are pillaging the office copier, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant goes beyond the resume, using unique insights to deliver a smarter shortlist. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Winter Sale and get 30% off paints and stains January 9th through the 19th. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
This is No Question About That. I'm Ed, and today with Tom talking about Manchester United 3, Bodø Glimt 2. Have you ever been to Bodø, Tom?
No, neither have I been to Glimt, but I saw a great joke when I was on Twitter the other day, or it might have even been on Blue Sky, because I don't really venture to Twitter these days. They said it's always difficult with Bodø Glimt because you just don't know which team will turn up.
Oh,
It's great.
Yeah, nice. It's a town of about 50,000 people in northwestern Norway, so it's miles away from anything. They brought a great following to Old Trafford.
Oh my God, yeah.
Biggest away following in Europe for a long, long time. It's like 6,000 of them or something.
Yeah, I felt like the whole town had come over, really.
Yeah. They were marching through the streets of Manchester yesterday. Much as the Feyenoord fans were, of course, every time a team comes to Manchester for sadly these days, a Champions League game involving City, they all go to Old Trafford for the tour and the merch and stuff like that. Yeah. Only come to see United.
That's it.
All right, I guess we should get into it, because this is a kind of interesting game, because you look at the data, you didn't see the game, you look at the data, you go, okay, especially... You look at, XG, the X-threat, possession, the field tilt, 83% field tilt. And this was, you want to talk about dominance, this was as dominant as you can get. And the pass map's really clear. You can see Amorim's plan coming together. It's starting to look like mini Sporting already. And yet, somehow, we can try to make this tight, despite so many chances. What was your take?
Yeah. And this was a bit of a theme at times, to be fair, under Ten Hag, especially even this season as well. Like, we did have a few games where you're just like, oh, what are we doing? We've got to put these chances away. And it's just, yeah, it was wasteful again last night, especially like second half when we were getting more chances as they were chasing the game a little bit. Like Garnacho. Yeah. It was just, it's really weird with Garnacho, because when he first came into the team, it felt like everything he did turned into an assist or it turned into a goal. Whereas now it's just, I don't know if he's trying too hard. He's overthinking a little bit. It feels like he does overthink when he's in the final third, because he's not just going directly at goal and shooting. He's taking a touch and he's maybe messing. Because even Erik, I reckon a lot of that wouldn't even show up in the XG stats, because he's not getting the shot away at times. And there was one where he kind of cut back onto his right and then even just ballooned it over, and you're thinking, it's probably just a lack of confidence, but it's not just him as well. Like, Ahmad had a few good opportunities, good openings, and I think that this is really, really good signs, right? Like, if Amorim can work on this, and especially with like a pattern of what to do when you get into the right area, because at the moment it feels like a bit like, do you know, when Arsenal, we used to kind of get into these positions a lot under Arsene Wenger, because Arsene Wenger used to have a kind of a method where when you get into the final third, you kind of do what you want. But I don't think that's always the right thing to do. And it feels like these guys are also kind of being led let to do whatever they want in the final third. It's just not quite working at the moment. And even Rashford, when he came on, had a chance where he just screwed it right wide.
Yeah,
like snatched at the chance a little bit. So it was kind of everyone, and it was hella frustrating because you just think when that guy's standing over the free kick in the 92nd minute, he's going to whip this in the top corner, and we're going to be kicking ourselves again with a 3-3 draw, and Amorim's still not got a win. But yeah, thankfully Onana saved it. But
yeah. I mean, all very true. His conversion rate's pretty low. Garnacho's is in the teens. If he could only, because so much that's good about him, he makes the movement to get in positions to get shots away. He's obviously very good at carrying the ball in big spaces. There's a lot to work with there. It feels like the ceiling is high, right? No guarantee, but for sure his finishing rate is frustrating. If only someone could help him sort that out, he would be a hell of a player. Rashford's different. Obviously, he's just been in this slump for so long, and he's. I can't talk about Rashford without thinking about the kind of online pylons. Wanker couldn't tell whether they were TUS related or not. They normally are, as they're online twats. Was trying to make something of Rashford throwing his gloves on the floor. I was like, they throw their gloves, their water bottles, their shirts, they spit gum at coaches. It's like in the zone. I just didn't see that as a problem. But what is a problem with him is like what he's producing in front of goal, right? It's how many goals this season? 2, 3? I'm not sure. It's not many.
Yeah, 2 in the league at least. Yeah.
Yeah. And that kind of golden year of finishing, like, scoring 30 plus feels a long time ago now. With just like not a lot of confidence there in anything he does. And you're just hoping that Amorim can somehow bring that out in him. Because he kind of called him out before the game, didn't he? He said he tried him at number 9. It's not his best position. They had to try other things. And it's mostly about him, he said, which was kind of interesting as well.
I really like the way Amorim communicates is just amazing, especially for a guy who's speaking in his second language as well. It's crazy how good he is, but I like the way he did call him out and also kind of set that challenge to other players in the squad as well. He does it in such a personable, soft manner. He's not doing it in a dickish way. He's not doing it in a really straight way. It's just he does it in a way which kind of I feel like would get you on side. And I think even Graham Soon has written an article this week saying, if I was a player, I'd be loving what I'm hearing from Amorim so far. So if he's charming people like Graham Soon, like he's doing something right, I guess. And yeah, I mean, I guess we'll talk a bit more about Amorim and his personality. I feel like I could talk about that for like hours and hours and hours because I feel like I'm in love. But
personality goes a long way in pigs and managers, I guess. I do really like his ability to communicate, clarity with the fans or press. I assume he's very clear with players. He said he was going to keep it simple, but you can already see the patterns. I mean, like, I don't know which stats package you like best, but the Mark Stats bot always puts out a post-game package of stats. And one of the interesting ones is the pass maps, the weighted pass maps he puts out. And you can so clearly see the formation. I mean, at some time we may say we want another string to the bow because the attacks are very connected to the wings, the wing backs pushing forward, the wide 10s, wide forwards, connecting with them and trying to get those kind of low cross goals. Gikores to finish at Sporting. See if it's Hoyland here, obviously was last night, but you can kind of notice very clearly what the pattern is. At some point, we might want to think about, okay, what are the second ways of scoring that doesn't make us too one-dimensional? One of the really interesting tactical things last night Amorim did is put Bruno back into number 8 with Mason Mount further forward, and he actually talked about that, talking about his communication, talked about that post-match as well, and said, if you look at Mason Mount, he's very comfortable playing with his back to the goal. Obviously, coaches love Mason Mount because he does all the out possession stuff really well. And he said with Bruno, he's better with the ball in front of him. And so whether they try him in this number 8 as a kind of connector, be interesting because he takes far more risks with the ball than you typically want in that position. You come up against Kobe Miner as well, and we'd have an interesting discussion there about, is there only one place for those two in the team? Can they both play together or not?
Yeah, it's difficult because I can definitely see the advantages of him playing there. I think under Amorim, they already seem like they have a good relationship. I mean, obviously Bruno never played with him under him at Sporting, but as Bruno said in midweek, like he watched all the games there, so he's already got a clear understanding, a better understanding than most of the players, are probably apart from Agate in the squad, about how Amorim likes to do things. And I think he was posed the question, Bruno, in midweek, is it going to be difficult for you to adapt to a new system at your age? I think it was pretty much paraphrasing a little bit, but and he was kind of like, well, I played at Sporting in a different system. I play at Portugal. I have to play in a different system. I think that Portugal element is going to bear him in good stead here, I think, because he will have to be more disciplined under Amorim. And especially if he's going to play as a part of a two, potentially next to Agate, I thought was excellent again yesterday. And I think he was potentially at fault for the first goal because of his ill discipline, not getting back, because he's going to have to do that. He's going to have to be more disciplined defensively, but also offensively as well, because he does like to drift, because he's basically our only creative player in a lot of cases. He's the only guy who really creates chances in some games for us. But if he's going to be one part of a big machine, one cog of a big machine, he's going to have to be more disciplined. And if he plays in that position, he's going to have to be less looking for those world beater balls, a bit more kind of conservative in possession, and
I think he can do that. So.
I really do think he can as well. I just think Amorim is almost the perfect guy because of that. Like I say, not the relationship they have, but he's seen him be successful at his favourite club, at his boyhood club. He's going to have bags and bags of respect for him. And I think that relationship, and he's already it feels like he's already instilling this new leadership role, which although Bruno has been our captain for a while, but the way he talked in midweek, Bruno, I loved it. And I feel like this is the chance for Bruno he's already by far our best player over the last few years, but now I feel like it's time to cement himself as a real legend of the club potentially, and a real kind of spearhead for this new regime. And I think the discipline, if he can find that, and if he can really embrace it under Amorim, he will be hugely important for this project.
So what you're saying is Amorim's the one, United are back, and we're going to win the league. Yeah, and
absolutely.
Bruno's,
maybe not this year, but next year for sure.
For sure, no doubt about it. Yeah, I mean, like it's already. You might as well just give us 21 already. My only question with the Bruno at number 8 really is 210 chances created in the league last season, right? That will be quite a lot fewer if he's at 8, especially in this system where it will be quite a tight role. Like, let's go to half, right? So where do United create that extra 100 chances from and finish them as well? So if you just rip that out of the team, that will have an impact. Like, undoubtedly, you just don't go, okay, no, it's fine. He's just playing deeper and it'll create all those chances. Now, given that, look, it's early days, so we could be totally wrong about that. He could play this one game at number 8 and then he's going to be pushed further forward. It could be horses for courses, depending on the system. He said he wanted to get everyone in the team. So, I don't want to kind of overanalyze this, but it definitely is an issue. If Mount is the further forward one, Bruno's further back, that will have an impact on chance creation. Mount doesn't create chances, basically.
Yeah. But hopefully we just become less dependent on one player, which is, I guess, the point of the system, the point of Amorim, and what he's trying to get across. Like you say, I mean, even in the first 10 minutes against Ipswich, we saw the patterns of play, which were really quite evident. I feel like that dropped off the longer that Ipswich game went along. But like last night, again, we were seeing patterns of play, which we rarely saw under Ten Hag after 2 or 3 years of him being in charge. So hopefully we become less reliant on Bruno. So he therefore becomes, I guess, less stressed as a person because he doesn't have that responsibility he does have. And then we are creating chances from everywhere and hopefully getting goals from everywhere as well. We're not relying on him doing that as well. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Well, look, we've gone from a coach who didn't settle on one system at all ever moving 2.5 years to one that is very, very much about the system. And I think we can see, of course, the patterns, systemized goal, or at least chance creation, I think is going to happen much more. It's very interesting. I mean, it's such a stark contrast in a way. Not exactly how we scored the goals last night, though. The first one was a bit of a gift, wasn't it? Like really early on. The Højlund, I'm forgetting whether it was his first or second now, when Masraoui wins the ball, plays it in. I mean, it's a kind of, it's not even a half chance, is it? And it's just brilliant control and
a beautiful
finish through the gap. Yeah. So not exactly scoring the systemized goals, but if you get systemized goals plus we've got brilliant players, that should equal lots more goals if we can bloody finish them off, which is, I think like 14 shots inside the penalty area last night. Wow. 14 from United. That is a hell of a lot.
Yeah. I think also a nod to Højlund's tenaciousness, though. I thought he did that really well when he came on against Ipswich. Like he pressed out, he closed down really quickly, he pressed hard. And he does do that. Like, I think he's a really good presser. And I think if he can, I feel like a lot of Højlund's game, he has a really, really good raw materials. He just kind of needs to know how to apply it. And I feel like that's the same with pressing. He's very, when he goes for it, but he maybe just doesn't know like when to press and how to press, which he can learn. And I feel like that's a bit like his movement as well in the box. Like he when he gets the chances, he can put them away, and he is a decent enough finisher. He just doesn't get the chances, and I think that's potentially to his movement. And I think with a good coach, especially like someone like Amorim, and hopefully his backroom staff as well, they can teach him to do that. And I think like that first goal was just, I don't know if we get that from any of our other strikers. I don't think Xerxes would close down that. We wouldn't press that hard on that quickly. I don't think Rashford would do that either. I don't think Garnacho would do that. I don't think Ahmad would do that. And I think Højlund does have that about him. And I think I also look at Højlund's performance in general last night, and I thought he played well. And I said this before, I think he has a lot of similar attributes to Gyökeres, and Gyökeres only became good at maybe 23, 24. So I feel
late bloomer.
People write Højlund off, I think, at times, but I feel like he's got a high ceiling potential.
And it's Manchester United, so people, if you want to find it, you'll find someone online who's complaining about Amorim as a coach already. Right, it's Manchester United. Everything is dialed up to 11, isn't it? So I think there's a fair amount of criticism for Højlund in terms of like he doesn't get the ball. Is he finding space in the right ways and making those right kind of runs in order to do that? I saw him make several curved runs last night. He's trying to lose his mark and get into the right position. It was going wide a lot, and that final ball wasn't always coming in. So there's definitely raw material. He's an, as they say, an efficient finisher. So whereas Rashford and this stage of Rashford and Garnacho
as well.
Yeah, both feet. Yeah,
was it his right foot or was it his left foot last night? But either way,
right foot for the control and finish. Yeah, was his left for the other one? I'm trying to remember.
But he feels like he hits the ball really, really well with both feet. To be honest, which is a real asset as well.
Yeah, I would rather. I mean, this would be a bet, wouldn't it? Given that United's finances are not very good. I mean, Q1 results were out just last week, and United haven't made a profit for 5 years. 500 and something million to the banks and 400 and something million in transfer fees to other clubs. I mean, there's just the finance is really bad, and if we don't make Champions League next season, the gap between United and others that we're competing with may grow, right? No longer the financial powerhouse of English football. Others have overtaken us now. So that will restrict United's spending. And so in that environment, would I want to dump 60, 70, 80 million on Gyökeres versus a wing back or an extra midfielder if Eriksson and Casemiro are going? I'm not sure. I might take a punt on Højlund becoming the one.
I would, and Gyökeres is half Hungarian, so I kind of do love him, but also hate him for being a nation traitor and choosing Sweden, though he was born and grew up there. But he's been good for 2 years. He had a really good year at Coventry in the Championship, and had a great year last year, and then it started this season exceptionally well as well. But like I say, he only got good at about 23, 24, and you saw his performance. I don't know if you saw Sporting play in midweek, he kind of got bullied. Well, he did get bullied by Saliba and Gabriel.
Yeah.
He obviously scored a hat-trick against Man City, but 2 of them were penalties. He's a quality player. I'm not saying he's not, but I think I genuinely see like the raw materials in Højlund to be a similar type of player to Gyökeres. And I feel like it's too much money to risk, I think. I think he would be good in the Prem, but I don't think it's a guarantee. And also when we've got someone quite similar to Højlund, a striker quite similar to Højlund, why not invest in this lad and invest in the team elsewhere?
Yeah. No, I tend to agree with that. I think we had a similar debate on the Tactics show, which you can find at patreon.com/NQAT pod if you want to get our bonus shows. But so we did a Tactics pod, and that question came up. Like, would he be a good fit? Well, obviously. Is it a guarantee? Absolutely not. He's never done it outside of Portugal, well, the Championship. So it feels like it's a big risk. Well, I mean, obviously his scoring record of Sweden's pretty good as well. But again, international football, very different. Anyway, I don't know about you, but I came out of this game feeling pretty positive.
Yeah.
Like weaknesses in the squad for sure, and especially around the finishing and chance conversion is an issue. Obviously, they scored a couple. I mean, one absolute banger, the first Bodø Glimt goal. So I don't know what you can do about that. I mean, just right in the top corner. But you'd like to see United concede far fewer goals. Obviously, it does feel like we have a propensity to give away goals, and there'll be some teething problems with this new system. But feels like this could be good. But yeah, 2 games into a new regime. It's so clear already what he's trying to achieve.
That's
something, isn't it? You're like, here, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah,
now let's go execute.
That's the huge positive, to be able to see patterns of play. And I thought, like I say, that's what we saw in times against Ipswich really, really early. Like the pitch at times against Ipswich looked so big because of our 2 wide men staying really, really wide. And those switches were on all the time last night as well. Like, as soon as kind of our centre mid picked the ball up, or even our left wing back trying to find the right wing back, it was just so much space for Ahmad, especially in the second half, to run into. And at this point as well, like what he's doing, he's making substitutions for fitness. He's not making substitutions to affect the game at the moment. He's making team selections for fitness, not to win the game at this point as well. Like there's a bit of both obviously going on, but like in an ideal world, you're bringing Shaw and a left wing back on you. You're not playing him at centre back, and you're keeping like Licha on, and you're keeping De Ligt on, and you're not doing what he's doing at the moment, and you're keeping Agate on, or Agate would have played it the weekend instead of Casemiro and Eriksen. But at the moment, it's kind of just getting the whole squad involved in the game. And I even, and this is probably going to go down like a lead balloon, and probably everyone who's listening to this will disagree with me, I even liked starting Anthony at right wing back. Like, if this guy saw your eyes, for those listening to the podcast, I saw your eyes then. But if Anthony has got a future at this club, which I don't particularly want him to have a future at this club, it is going to be a wing back. He's not going to be able to play behind the 2 as the part of the 2 behind the striker. And he's tenacious. He works hard. And I think that's all he kind of does have. But like, and that's kind of what you potentially would want for a wing back. And if we do come to a position where we haven't got any, he would be a good fit. It would be his best fit. Yeah. And I feel like he did okay in that first half. He just, when he runs with the ball, he never looks like he's got it under control. No. And his passing's bad and his crossing is not great. But apart from that,
maybe right back is his position. We'll see. I mean, I think left back in the dressing room would be his favourite position. But he makes a lot of bad decisions. Honestly, he's sort of
so many bad decisions.
I don't know if this is the right term. With game intelligence, as people say, he just doesn't seem to be there at all. Right? No. It's constantly there. Right? Even the one that I think it might have been in the move that led up to Mazraoui's goal, where Mason Mount was in acres of space. He just chose not to play it to him for some bizarre reason.
You could see it for ages as well, couldn't he?
Yeah. He's pretty frustrating. And given that Ahmad played that role against Ipswich and looked great. You're like, well,
Yeah.
I mean, Anthony's just miles behind him. But it's an interesting thing that Amorim's done. He, instead of playing Mazraoui as one of the wing backs, which we were kind of assuming he's done, he's played him at right centre back, and he's absolutely brilliant last night. Mazraoui.
So good. Mazraoui is so good.
119 passes, and also miles ahead of anyone else in terms of progression via pass as well, right? So,
And the way he skipped past that guy for the goal, like just the little flick onto the right foot. Whew.
he's a really good player. I mean, he, like, the only thing that keeps him out of like top echelon in terms of sort of potentially in wing back roles or full back roles is his sort of lack of physicality. He's not super quick.
No.
Wouldn't feel that mobile, but he's really good with the ball at his feet. He's always comfortable in possession.
He's so intelligent as well
Yeah.
because of his lack of pace. Like he knows how to beat a man quite easily. He just like drops a shoulder or whatever and goes to his right foot, and his feet are so quick. He makes everything look so easy, and I feel like also that sometimes goes understated because like a ball will like come to him and he deals with it so easily and just passes it on. You think if that went to Anthony, the ball would be in like the second row of the stand.
Yeah. Well, look, touch wood, he stays fit because obviously that was a big problem at Bayern, and he's not had any injuries so far. And I don't know whether that's the amount of game time he'll be expected to play.
He had the little heart scare, didn't he?
Yeah. So I think that'll be an issue. I mean, for the fee, 15 million quid. And I know, like, he voiced some perfectly reasonable positions on Palestinian self-determination and other issues like that. And it's not really acceptable in German football culture right now to do that. So that may be one of the reasons Bayern were keen to get rid so cheaply. Don't know exactly, but anyway, United got a bargain. Maybe it's just the other side of the Faustian bargain because we've been absolutely fucked on transfers for a decade. Like they've all been bad, or nearly all of them. And this one's been
if you look at kind of this
brilliant.
summer's business, it's looking okay right now. Like
Looking all right.
I like De Ligt. I know people have got their concerns about De Ligt, but I like him. I like his personality. I think Agate is getting better by the game. I think he's looking really good. Like I love the way he spots danger, and his passing's improved a lot as well. Mazraoui looks awesome. And then, it's just Xerxes the one who looks a bit out of his depth at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, people who watch more Serie than I do liked him as a player. I can't see the fit. Seems really difficult, that one. But yeah, all the other signings, I mean, obviously we haven't seen much of Yoro. I think it's obviously super quick and like very young and all of that. So there's plenty of time for him to make his mark on United. He may even start the weekend, who knows, depending on how fit he is. So we'll want to get him in the team at some point. But yeah, all the signings are working out. Basically, apart from Xerxes, all this summer signings is. Oh, the other 10 Hag signings, mixed bag. Anana's been brilliant this year.
Anana has been excellent. I love. He made a really good save when Dalot played that stupid back pass, and then he left Anana in no man's land. He made that first save and then committed to going to tackle the guy for the second, about 40 yards out of his area, which is, I think, with about 10, 15 minutes to go in the game as well. And I'm really happy for him because last season was really tough, and we're kind of thinking, we probably need a new keeper now because he's not good enough. He's not at it. He's letting everything through him. He just looked a bag of nerves, really. Like he was either freezing or he wasn't doing anything. And now he feels like he's got his confidence back and he's acting naturally. The command of his box is excellent. Like he comes off his line and catches crosses, which we didn't get from De Gea. His ball playing ability is amazing. He's saving shots pretty consistently as well, made some great saves this season. I'm really happy for him because he also seems like a really good person and a really good character to have. He talks about that winning mentality all the time and stuff, I think, as well. And he has got a winning track record up there and at Ajax. So, yeah, that's a huge bonus as well for him to have improved so much this season. Yeah.
Be interesting to see if they want to do any business in the winter window. I mean, it seems unlikely given the finances. So £200 million payable in the next year on past transfers. I know. It's pretty dire, actually. But if they can, I think they would look at someone for the left side of that wing back role on the left side. I mean, they're just like every option there is a square peg in a round hole. Yeah. And unless you're saying Luke Shaw's going to be able to do it, it's just so much about that role. Like, it's so physical.
Yeah.
And you just worry about him breaking down again. And maybe it's just like, let's see if he can actually play a few games first.
Yeah, it's interesting that Shaw hasn't come in and played there yet, but Malacia, who's been out for longer, played there last night. It's interesting that, and I guess what he wants at the moment is that left side of the three to be a left footer, and I guess that's why he came on the weekend and why he came on last night for Licha. But it'll be interesting the week. I think Shaw's probably going to start on Sunday against Everton, but it'll be interesting to see whether he starts left wing back, because also at the moment Amorim is favouring a right footer on the right, a left footer on the right, and Malacia obviously started last night, but then when Dalot came on and he didn't switch it, and obviously at the weekend Dalot played on the left and Ahmad played on the right, which is an interesting thing at the moment.
Yeah, he has talked in the past about left-footed players in the left-sided positions. So I wonder whether they'll go to that, given that so much of it is about like that width.
Yeah, opening the pitch up.
Yeah, keeping it very, very wide. So, well, yeah, it'd be interesting. It's the one position you'd be interested in looking at. Malacia last night looked rusty, didn't he? I mean, he's been out for over 500 days. So,
yeah,
what do you expect? He's had one
that's been out for that long.
Yeah, I know. It's a couple of major surgeries on his knee and had half an under-21s game. So, I will forgive him. And obviously, it's a massive bonus if he can stay fit, because I wouldn't say he's a brilliant attacking fullback, but he's very, very comfortable on the ball, and he's comfortable in a lot of different positions, so he can invert and come inside into midfield. Yeah. That's less of an issue, I think, with Amorim's sides. Although, when Dalot came on last night, he basically did that. He made an auxiliary player in midfield, so... We'll see. I mean...
He was obviously at fault for that second goal, though. And I can't remember him being that slow before. I think it was Zinchenko who beat him for pace, and Zinchenko I didn't think that quick, but yeah. I don't know if he's lost the yard or he just happened to get going slowly last night, but yeah.
It'd be interesting, yeah. I mean, there must have been stages, and I haven't seen him talk about it in detail, that he was thinking he'd never come back. And when you're out for that long.
So long, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, it leaves United in a better position in the Europa League group phase table as well. Not guaranteed to qualify at all. So probably need a couple more wins, I'd say. 2 more wins would be 15 points. So 2 wins and a draw out of these next 3 games. It's Rangers, Steaua Bucharest, and it's Victoria Plzeň next, isn't it? And then Rangers and Steaua Bucharest. Right, Steaua Bucharest actually.
Last game.
Yeah, they've got a decent record. Anyway, you look at those and you really should win all of them.
Yeah, really, really, really should, yeah. There's none that kind of jump out of being particularly difficult. Like Plzeň are the 3rd best team in Czech Republic. Steaua, Romania football's not exactly what it used to be when Steaua won the European Cup in the late 80s. And Rangers are not even near. I think they're 3rd in Scotland.
They're
not behind Aberdeen.
The second best team in Scotland right now. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. We have Everton at the weekend. Everton, who one of the few teams actually below us in the league, thankfully. Deary me. No, we don't need to have black humour anymore. Amorim's the one and we're back, baby.
That's it, we are back.
Everton persisting with Sean Dyche. You wonder how long they will.
Yeah, they are. They've become a really, really boring side, haven't they? I think 3 of the last 4 have been 0-0 draws. Is that right? Yeah, and like apparently their last 2 games have just been absolutely horrendous. Like last game pick on the match of the day, probably every day of the year. And I guess maybe Dyche's trying to get back to, I don't know, defence first type of thing, but I can't imagine that would play very well with the Everton fans, because don't Everton fans believe they have like a certain style of football, a bit like West Ham fans or something? Like they should be playing expansive style, which is like typical.
It's got no bearing on reality, has it? I mean, come on.
Because they won the league in like 84 or something, or 88 or whatever. And
85. I think it was 85.
85 was there.
Yeah.
And they still don't play like that team or something. Yeah, they have a very weird exceptionalism at Everton fans. But
few clubs do.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna come to Old Trafford and probably just sit in. I think they're benefiters, to be honest. And they don't feel like the team that would have that much on the counter. They didn't. Dwight McNeil's maybe their most threatening player. Yeah, they're not a great team, are they, Everton? I mean, there are a lot of bad teams in the league this year, and I think Everton are probably the 5th worst.
And so no Duncan Ferguson or Marianne Fellaini to fuck us up with long balls. Yeah. I mean, no, they I think they had, I was just looking at their data from the weekend, because they drew 0-0 with Brentford and had 27 shots, which is quite a lot. Brentford did have a man sent off, of course.
Everton had 27 shots?
Yeah. Only 5 on target. So, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
That is a lot. But yeah, they've drawn 3 of their last 5, 1 win in 5. They're not in great form, not particularly good side. Don't play nice football. Who's going to want to watch them? Their beautiful new stadium they're building and all of that.
Yeah. There's not really much. The Ndiaye is good, actually. The guy they signed from Marseille in the summer, he was at Sheffield United, was really, really good there. And he is one of those players that will get you off your seat if you're a fan. Not particularly amazing with his end product, but he is impressive. He can beat a man quite nicely, and he's an exciting flair player, which is weird that Sean Dyche would kind of buy that type of player. But apart from that, it's quite like they lost Onana in the summer, like their midfield too of Idrissa Gueye and Doucouré. It's very functional, isn't it?
Yeah. What do we think United will do? Less interested in Everton than United. Yeah. I mean, obviously the system is set. We know it's going to be 3 at the back. Will he change that up? Is he going to give Yoro some game time? Because he does seem to want to give everyone some game time. He'd be the next one, wouldn't he?
Yeah, maybe off the bench. I feel like it would be difficult to come in first game in the Prem. I know it's at Everton and a weaker side at home, but yeah. And also, why take Mazraoui out of there, I guess, at the moment? And like you say, he's kind of picking for fitness, so maybe he will. But I feel like that 3 that started last night he's going to be potentially for a while, and then Ahmad back at right wing back. Sure, probably. Maybe at left wing back.
Maybe
Dalot again last night. His passing is just atrocious. He went on a few nice mazy runs, but there was no end product. I mean, he played their couple just awful passes. And
yeah, well, Mazraoui has come in and shown him what a good player looks like. So he's better in every area of the game, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, he improved a lot, Dalot, but feels like he's hit his ceiling and his propensity to just go to sleep. Yeah, there's always something, isn't there? Mm-hmm. So, much better than he once was, but still not quite good enough for a United team that's actually good.
Yeah.
Selection's interesting. There's a question about Kobbie Mainoo as well, actually. So
yeah, of course.
Whether because he's been training for a while. Everyone is fit, by the way. Like, everyone is training. I don't think there's anyone that's not at the moment. Even Harry Maguire's training. So there's a whole big squad to choose from. And it'd be interesting to see if Mainoo gets a game. I imagine Ugarte will play again unless he thinks there's any chance of overload here, because he's played a lot recently. So, and then the front 3 will be interesting, won't it? So, it's hard to drop Højlund having scored a couple. Mm-hmm. And then who is it? Rashford, Garnacho. Does Ahmad go into the front 3? Seems to like him in a wide area at the moment, but yeah, we'll see. I mean, given that the difference between the wide forwards and the wing back seems to be, it's a bit moot, isn't it? You know, the wing backs are very attacking players in this system.
Yeah. I think it's probably be a bit too early for Mount to start 2 games in a week. So it probably will be Rashford and Garnacho, which I don't know if that's the best balance right now. Or maybe he puts Bruno back into one of those positions alongside potentially Garnacho or potentially Rashford and plays Casemiro alongside Ugarte or Eriksen alongside Ugarte. I'm hoping Ugarte is fit enough to start, because I'd rather him be playing in the Premier League than in the Europa League, because I feel like he's our best centre midfielder at the moment. And we missed him massively against Ipswich, especially in that first half when he wasn't on the field.
Yes, he's become an important player. I mean, because he covers the ground, right, and fills the gaps.
Yeah. Protects that defence as well.
Protects the defence,
which has been a huge problem. Was a huge problem under Ten Hag.
Yeah, I mean, it allows having a player like that allows those wing backs to play very high and be connected with the wide forwards, because you've got two in front of the back three. You can drop back in, and cover the full width of the pitch. So, yeah, very important player now, Ugarte, and this system highlights his strengths, minimises the weaknesses. He doesn't need to be a progressive passer. And it helps if there's someone alongside him who can. Exactly. I like the question, the Kobe Mainoo. So if Ugarte is like number one pick there, and then you get a choice between Mainoo, Bruno, Casemiro and Eriksen, it suddenly looks like a lot of choice, even if Casemiro and Eriksen almost certainly will leave in the summer. So, yeah, I mean, it certainly feels better when you got all...
well, couldn't you, really?
And you can play him out there. Like, no one ever tries it there, tries him there, but it feels like that linking number 8 role's a very good position for him.
Yeah. It's all of a sudden, like, it does look like, now we've got all the injuries out of the way, it does feel like, there's opportunity here, there's excitement, there's optimism, and I know, especially when you hear Amorim talk, you kind of like, oh my God, this is the saviour, and this is going to be like amazing now. I can't help feeling that every time I hear him speak, because he does speak so well, and it feels like, oh my God, yes, this is what we've been crying out for so long. And I feel like when Ten Hag came, I never felt like that. I felt like just the way he communicates was very short. And I don't know if he was like that in the dressing room, but just feel like he didn't reveal anything. But maybe Amorim's doing the opposite, where he's revealed too much or whatever. But it's just that way that he communicates. If you were a player, you'd be lapping it up, and you'd be wanting to run a mile for this guy. And he's clearly got an amazing football brain, and he understands structure and progress really well. The way he communicates that, and you think, this guy knows what he's talking about. And it hasn't felt that way as a United fan under any of the other bosses. Like, there was, with Moyes, you had the insecurity. With Van Gaal, you had this weird oddity. You had Mourinho had this arrogance and bitterness when he came to United. With Ollie, it was maybe just a bit too nice and maybe not quite sophisticated enough. You had Rangnick, he was, no. And Ten Hag, he was just like cold. Whereas Amorim, it's like a breath of fresh air, to be honest. And hopefully, and we've seen a few things early doors which potentially get us excited. And I don't want to get too excited about this guy, but he does feel like the best choice we've ever made in terms of that. That isn't saying much, but it does feel like the best choice.
We've had 2 games, and he's definitely the one.
He is the one. He is
glory. Hey, he's Pep's cracking up already. Right? 2 weeks of Amorim in town, and
exactly.
Pep's been cut.
He's scratching his head.
He's self-harming. His team are losing every week. Yeah, it's great. So I mean, like my tongue is firmly in my cheek, because we've had a decade of being dreadful. And very, very few good days. So, but yeah, Pep losing it, City losing, and United's like being on the up. Yeah, good times. Which almost certainly guarantees Everton's 89th minute winner. Scrappy corner, Onana drops one in.
I know, and there's bound to be pain, right? Like, even if Amorim is the man, then we do win the league in 3 or 4 years. There's in this 3-4 month, 5 month period, there is going to be pain. There's going to be a lot of teething problems. It's going to be a lot of difficulties. And I guess it's how much we as fans how high our pain threshold is really to suffer through that pain, to suffer through that difficulty. Because if we can, and we're all together and we all know this is going to be very difficult for the first few months, and we don't get antsy and we don't get, oh, he's not the man we thought he was, blah, blah, blah. And we do kind of stick to it. I think it will work. You look at the first early days of Klopp, it wasn't great. There was early signs that it was going to get better, and it eventually came to fruition. But the first early days weren't amazing when he joined halfway through the season. You looked at Arteta, it took him a long time to get things going at Arsenal, and they're bearing fruit now. Like, yeah, it's going to take time, and we all kind of need to have a high pain threshold to suffer through it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am very, very excited by this, but I'm trying to temper it because, like you say, we've had 10 years of hurt, but this does feel different.
Before we go, should mention, like, since we were talking about finances, United announced that they would change their ticket pricing this season, so no concessions. I mean, there's obviously a lot of season ticket holders, probably way more than the club actually wants, because you can make more money with hospitality packages and so on for tourists coming in. And this is not unique to United. A lot of the leading Premier League teams are thinking this way, because it's such an international product. And so they dropped concession prices, and any single match tickets will now be £66. And that's the non-hospitality ones, which is obviously pretty steep as a price. And also, like, it would price fans out for sure who don't have season tickets and are buying match to match, general members. And it will certainly price families out, because taking a couple of kids to the football is a major endeavour now. So it leaves it a pretty bad taste in the mouth, and the communication around it has been very Ineos-like. I mean, like, there hasn't been no communication at all. I think there's a lot of fans up in arms about this one. Rightly so.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't understand why they're doing it. United's finances are fucked, right? They have to reduce costs and they have to find new revenue. It's just when you contrast, like, £66 for an individual fan is a lot of money, and it's going to make £1 million this season. Let's just guesstimate it at that. It feels like a drop in the ocean, given United's sort of guided revenue of 670 something. Mm-hmm. And yet they're trying to make these marginal financial gains. So I understand why they're doing stuff like that. It's hard to agree with any of it. Any of the cost cutting measures and all the people who lost their jobs, or the kind of very, very marginal attempts to make revenue, like parking arrangements and ticket arrangements, or cutting costs on Euroway ticket distribution mechanisms and stuff like that. It feels very penny pinching.
Yeah, must put out a statement, didn't they? Was it yesterday or the day before? And they used the word disgrace in the statement. I think disgrace is a really strong word, but it feels super appropriate for this, because it really is. Like, the uplift percentage is enormous. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's an enormous uplift, especially from like a child to an adult. Yeah, a child to £66. It's something like 500% increase or something like that. It is crazy. It's kind of not. It's not shocking. Like, it's not shocking that it's happened, because football prices in this country are out of control. Like, ticket prices for anything, like gig prices, the amount have gone up since COVID is insane. And I went to a 8th tier game about a month or two ago, and I paid £15 to go see that. It's like, what am I doing paying that money for this? And you can kind of understand Ineos's perspective, saying, oh yeah, if Arsenal are charging £100 for a ticket, why are we only charging this? But I've said this before, like, Ineos are treating this like it's a business. And it is in its term, it is a business, but it's not. Like, a football club isn't a business in the same way as, like, a government isn't a business. Like, you have to play politics as a football owner. You have to get the fans on side, and they have been awful at that. Like, horrendous, like PR mistake after PR mistake after PR mistake. And then to do this, to literally almost establish war against the fans in a lot of ways. This is if you're going to piss the fans off most about anything, this is going to be it. And like, yeah, to do it. It's just so thoughtless. It's so It's and they use the word disgraceful. It's nothing short of disgraceful.
Takes us back to 2005, doesn't it? When the Glazers jacked the prices up. Now they did that because they'd taken out part of the leverage buyout was these very, very high interest rate loans at 14% and United were paying back £100 million a year, basically in interest. And so they did that in order to make the business model viable. And it obviously alienated a lot of fans. Fans were priced out, probably never returned. And something similar will happen with this. Now, it's not a general thing, right? So it's that they claimed that it's 3% of tickets. Who knows? But I agree with you. The communication's really bad. I as a supporter, I think this is disgraceful. If I stuck my financial analyst hat on, I'd be going, okay, how do I get United out of this hole? And this feels very marginal compared to, I say, like not buying the next Anthony or maybe even Xerxes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that they are treating it like a business insofar as they are cost-cutting their way to financial viability, mostly, then trying to make incremental revenue gains. They're not treating it in a business in that they will not be taking dividends out, right? So the motivations are very different. Like the Glazers bought the club with very little of their own money, £45 million of their own money, and they've extracted way, way more than that in dividends and management fees and all that kind of bollocks. And obviously, £1 billion has gone out over the last 20 years to the banks in interest, right? So the way the new NES team are approaching this is it feels very similar, but it's for different motivations, which is why I think, like, I temper my reaction just a little bit. It doesn't mean this is right, but they're trying to get the club back on an even keel. And there's some difficult decisions. Yeah, I guess we'd rather the money was on the pitch, wouldn't we? But we don't want that money to come from fucking over the fans, who seem to get in modern football seem to be the ones that are screwed most often.
Yeah, and it's I guess they've weighed it up and said, yeah, we'll be able to get away with this because we're Manchester
much demand,
United.
yeah.
Exactly. We're going to sell the tickets anyway. What's a few weeks of bad press, which seems to be like the press agencies kind of way these days. Like you kind of just deal with the short-term pain because in this social media news obsessed world, news travels so quickly and people just move on to the next thing. But I don't feel like people will forget this type of thing. And, as soon as the season ticket renewals start coming up for renewal, like they're going to be up. Their prices for those are going to go up as well. And so this won't just affect the 3% that they're saying it is going to right now. It's going to affect 100% of fans that go to games.
Yes.
Almost certainly. And it's also, like you say, the way they go about it as well, like doing it halfway through the season, making it more difficult for season ticket holders to transfer their tickets, like to just bring this kind of stuff in halfway through the season. It's just stupid. It's just really thoughtless. And just after making so many PR faux pas, like to make another one,
I know,
just feels like it's just incompetency.
They have to do this. They have to make the argument of why this is important to do for the good of the club, right? I mean, and that argument has not been made, and I'm not trying to make it for them here, but they do that and communicate it, and they liaise with the fans forum. There's a much better way of doing this, and I think doing this sort of top down, as you say, with a community asset is a very bad way of doing it. So, guys, if you're listening, I know there are quite a few people who do listen. You want some advice? I wouldn't say I was the best PR person in the world. It's not my job at all. But liaise with the fans. I think what long term, what I'm sure the club would like to do or would be thinking about is having fewer season ticket holders. Obviously, like that is eroding your most loyal supporter base in order to stop leaving money on the table, because United are most definitely leaving money on the table. You can go to an agency and buy tickets for any United game for £1,000 or something, and like a couple of tickets with some hospitality at one of the warehouses and all that kind of stuff and really jacked up prices. And people will do that when they're coming, especially if they're tourists from abroad. They'll do that as part of a trip, a holiday, an experience. And so United are definitely leaving money on the table. This is why so many US sports teams go to dynamic pricing, where the more demand there is, the higher the price will go. Obviously, we've seen that in music. It's standard practice here in the States. So going to see gigs can become extremely expensive. The same with sporting events. It's not been standard practice until sort of recently in the UK. You've had fixed prices for things, and I'm sure a lot of Premier League clubs would like to, even if it's on here's 5% of tickets, we'd like to do that. I'm sure they'd love to. So none of this is good for fans. But what they're saying is there's so much demand and so much interest that if we don't charge those prices, effectively legalized touting through these resale agencies will do it anyway. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's football in 2024 and beyond. And then, of course, when the new stadium starts getting built, I mean, we're years away from that probably, but then they will, I'm sure, look to have a much smaller percentage of tickets as season ticket holders.
Yeah.
All right. Didn't mean to finish on a bummer. Because it's been a good week generally, hasn't it?
Yeah. It really has been a good week. But I feel like we can't have all positive news at United, and that is a real negative in the week. And it's just to introduce it, I guess now when we're supposed to be all getting behind the new club, the new manager, and the new club direction and stuff, is stupid.
Yeah, it's very odd timing. Anyway. It's very odd.
Yeah.
All right, we'll leave it there. We'll be back with some dailies by popular demand, by the way, for those of you who are left listening at the end of the show. The dailies we do for our YouTube channel, I'd initially kept them as exclusively for the YouTube channel, just to try and grow that a little bit. Everyone keeps asking me to put that into the podcast feed as well. So I will, because you, the listeners, asked. So you can get it on YouTube, you can get it in your podcast feed, you can get it on Spotify, you can get it on Patreon if you want our backers shows. We will find the audience where you are. You're welcome, by the way. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.